If you have ever been afraid to try something new, afraid to show your work, or afraid of being judged, this story is for you. There was a young man named Ethan. Ethan loved drawing. Drawing was the one thing that made him feel calm and peaceful. When the world felt noisy and fast, drawing helped him slow down. It was his quiet refuge, his personal sanctuary where nothing else mattered except the pencil in his hand and the blank page before him. Every morning, before the day truly began, Ethan opened his small notebook. He sat by the window and drew quietly. The early morning light would stream through the glass, casting soft shadows across his desk. In those quiet mornings, before emails, before responsibilities, before the demands of the day, he felt truly himself. He drew lines, shapes, faces, and ideas from his imagination. Sometimes he drew what he saw, the tree outside his window, the way light fell across his coffee cup, or the curve of a chair in the corner of his room. Other times he drew what he felt, abstract expressions of emotions he couldn't put into words, visual representations of thoughts that lived too deep for conversation. His notebook became a private journal of his inner world, page after page filled with pieces of himself. But Ethan was afraid. Not afraid of drawing, he was afraid of sharing his drawings with others. In his mind, questions never stopped. What if people say my art is bad? What if they laugh at me? What if they think I am wasting my time? What if I am not talented enough? What if they compare me to real artists and find me lacking? What if my work is meaningless? These questions played on repeat, a constant whisper of doubt that followed him everywhere. Ethan believed that only perfect artists deserved attention. He believed mistakes meant failure. He had convinced himself that unless his work was flawless, unless it could stand beside the masters, it had no value. He looked at other artists online, people with thousands of followers, perfect compositions, stunning technique, and felt small in comparison. So instead of sharing his drawings, he kept them hidden in a drawer. That drawer became heavier with time, filled not just with paper, but with unexpressed parts of himself, with moments of beauty that no one else would ever see. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. The seasons changed outside his window, but his routine remained the same. Ethan kept drawing every day. His skills slowly improved. His lines became stronger, more confident. His understanding of light and shadow deepened. His ideas became clearer, more refined. He was becoming a better artist with each passing day. But no one noticed because no one saw his work. His growth happened in silence, in isolation, witnessed only by himself. And without feedback, without connection, without sharing, part of the joy began to fade. The drawings continued, but something felt incomplete. One calm morning, Ethan decided to take a walk in the park. He needed air, needed to break the cycle of his thoughts. The air was cool and gentle. The sounds around him were soft and relaxing, birds singing, leaves rustling, distant conversations blending into a peaceful hum. As he walked along the path, his mind still turning over familiar worries, something caught his attention. A small child was sitting on the sidewalk, drawing with colorful chalk. The child couldn't have been more than 6 or 7 years old. The lines were uneven, some shapes were not perfect, the proportions were off. Any technical standard, the drawings were amateur. But the child was smiling. There was pure joy on that small face, complete absorption in the creative act. People walked by. Some stopped to look. Some smiled back. A few said kind words, like, "That's beautiful," or "What a wonderful drawing," or "You're very talented." No one criticized. No one laughed. No one pointed out the imperfections or compared the work to professional standards.
They simply appreciated the act of creation itself, the courage of expression, the innocent joy on display. The child did not worry about being perfect. The child simply enjoyed drawing. Ethan stood there quietly, watching. He felt something shift inside him, a crack in the wall he had built around his fear. For the first time, he realized something important. Perfection was not the goal. Joy was. Connection was. Expression was. The value wasn't in technical mastery alone, but in the courage to share a piece of yourself with the world. He thought to himself, maybe sharing is more important than being perfect. Maybe courage matters more than talent. Maybe the world needs more authentic expression than it needs another perfect piece. Maybe by hiding his work, he wasn't protecting himself from judgment. He was preventing the possibility of connection. That evening, Ethan went home feeling different. Something had changed in him during that walk, something subtle but significant. He opened his notebook and slowly flipped through the pages. Each drawing brought back memories, the mood he was in when he created it, what he was thinking about, what he was trying to express. He saw his own journey in those pages, his own growth and exploration. He chose one drawing, not the best one, not the most technically accomplished, but the one that felt most honest. It was a simple sketch of hands reaching towards light, something he had drawn on a particularly difficult day when he needed hope. His hands were shaking as he prepared to share it online. His heart was beating fast. His finger hovered over the button for what felt like minutes. All the old fears came rushing back, the what-ifs, the worries, the imagined criticism. But he remembered the child with the chalk, the simple joy of creation without the burden of perfection. And he pressed the upload button. At first, nothing happened. The post sat there vulnerable and exposed to the world. Ethan felt a wave of anxiety wash over him. Then one person liked the drawing. Then another. Soon comments appeared. Beautiful work. Keep going. This made my day better. I felt this drawing. Thank you for sharing. Your style is unique and meaningful. Ethan smiled quietly. He read each comment slowly, letting the kindness sink in. These weren't empty compliments. People were genuinely connecting with what he had created. His fear had told him that judgment would come, but instead he found encouragement. He felt lighter, freer. A weight he had been carrying for months, maybe years, began to lift. Ethan learned something important that day. His fear was not protecting him. It was holding him back. Fear had disguised itself as wisdom, as caution, as self-preservation, but in reality it had been a cage that kept him from experiencing the full joy of his passion. He realized that waiting for perfection had cost him time, confidence, and joy. It had cost him the opportunity to connect with others, to inspire, to be inspired, to grow through feedback and community. And that courage did not mean being fearless. Courage meant acting even when fear was present. Courage wasn't the absence of doubt or worry. It was choosing to move forward despite them. From that moment on, Ethan continued to draw. He continued to share. Some pieces received more attention than others. Some received criticism along with praise. But none of that mattered as much as he thought it would. What mattered was that he was no longer hiding, no longer waiting for permission to exist as an artist. And with every small step, he became more confident, more open, and more free. His art evolved, not just in skill, but in authenticity. The more he shared, the more he discovered his true voice. Ethan's story is not really about drawing. It is about life. It is about all the dreams we keep hidden, all the talents we bury, all the parts of ourselves we are afraid to show the world. Many people have talent. Many people have dreams. They have ideas worth sharing, voices worth hearing, gifts worth giving. But only those who act give their dreams a chance to grow. Only those who step past fear discover what's possible on the other side. Only those who share themselves with the world can experience true connection and fulfillment. If this story helped you think, relax, or practice your English listening, there are many more calm and meaningful stories waiting for you here. Subscribe to this channel for simple English stories that help you learn, reflect, and grow one story at a time. Each story is created to inspire you, to make you think, and to help you improve your English in a natural and enjoyable way. Thank you for listening.